Good morning, guys. Thank you so much for being here, for joining me today. Today's practice is going to be all about cultivating joy and happiness and moving in a way that really honors and truly respects ourselves. So we're going to begin seated comfortably, legs crossed. If this isn't comfortable for you, then find yourself in any position that feels good in your body. You may want to have some blocks if you have them handy, or anything that you can use in place of blocks. I've given suggestions before. You can use a cracker box or pasta box or anything that will lift the earth up a little closer to you. Some people recommend books. Whatever works for you. You might also want to have a blanket handy if you like to pad up your knees, or if you're feeling any tightness in your hips, you might want to place a blanket underneath your seat just to allow a little more opening in the hip area. So let yourself settle here, maybe rock side to side a little bit, really ground in through your sits bones. And lift up nice and tall through your spine. Let your hands fall in your lap wherever they're most comfortable. Your palms can be facing down. If you're feeling a little scattered and you want to bring in some grounding energy, it can feel good to have your palms face down on your lap or next to you on the earth. If you are already feeling nice and grounded and you want to open yourself up to an effort of receiving, then turn your palms facing up towards the sky. You might join your thumb and first finger if you'd like. And then again, take out any wiggles that you need to, rocking side to side. You can roll your shoulders a couple of times if you'd like. Maybe just kind of release your head and your neck, letting go, and then close through your eyes. And begin to rest your awareness on the flow of your breath. And let's all begin by taking a nice, long, slow, deep breath in through the nose and let it out with a big sigh. And you can do that a couple more times if you'd like, letting go of anything that you came in here with today. Letting go of your to-do list. Letting go of any unpleasant occurrences that may have happened before you came to your mat today. Just setting it all aside. Allowing yourself to be right here, right now, in this moment, fully present and grounded in your practice, honoring yourself and your time. And when you've let out all of that extra energy, just return to a normal breathing pattern and just begin to follow the breath. Follow each inhale and each exhale. Just noticing and observing the feeling of the air as it enters in through your nose. Notice the rise of your chest as you inhale. And notice how everything kind of lets go as you exhale. Maybe taking in a little more breath. On the inhale, filling up deep into the belly, expanding through your rib cage and filling up into the top of your chest. And then as you exhale, release the air in the opposite direction, letting go of your chest, your lungs, deep down into your belly. Feeling that sense of relaxation wash over you. Continue following the breath, and as you settle in, maybe taking in a few words from Melody Beattie's Journey to the Heart. What would make you happy? Why don't you make yourself happy? Did someone tell you you couldn't be happy? Couldn't let life help you out? It doesn't matter who told you you couldn't have what you wanted. What matters is if you're still telling yourself that now. Yes, there are many situations in life in which we need to go without, do what needs to be done and get the job done. There are times when a particular purpose is served by depriving ourselves. But there are also situations, many more than we think, in which we can have what we want. There are moments when what we want matters. Look into your heart. Ask yourself what you want. What would feel good? What would bring joy? Is anything to be gained by depriving yourself a while longer? Get creative. Look around. What are some ways you could give yourself what you want? What could you do to create your life more to your liking? Giving yourself what you want isn't selfish. It teaches others that they can have more of what they want from life too. Use your imagination. Set yourself free. Let yourself see the pictures and feel the emotions of what would make you happy. Then take a moment, pause, and smile. You're beginning to get a glimpse of all that you can have from God. We'll return to these words as we move through our practice today, honoring ourselves and honoring what is going to make us happy, knowing that what we bring onto our mat is how we approach life. So approaching your practice from a place of truly moving to what feels good and feels right in your body and what makes you happy in the moment will extend out into your life. We get good at practicing on our mats, in our practice. Continue to breathe in a way that feels good and feels right. And as we move through practice, keep these words in mind and know that my cues are just ideas, just suggestions. So if something doesn't feel good in your body, move in a way that does. You can be doing something completely different. And that's a beautiful thing. That means you're listening to your desires, your wants, your needs. Take a couple more breaths here. And then when you're ready, on the inhale, scoop the arms all the way up to the sky. Palms touch overhead. On your exhale, draw your hands down to heart center. And if setting an intention is part of your practice, you can do that now, always keeping it positive and in the present moment. I am happy. I am joyful. I am peaceful. I am free. Find an intention that resonates best with you. And then when you're ready, bow your forehead to your fingertips, connecting head to heart center, sealing in that intention, and take a deep breath into your heart space. On your exhale, slowly release your hands down to your lap, keeping your chin pressing towards your chest. Slowly let your head just sway side to side, bringing one ear towards the shoulder, swaying through center, coming to the other side, beginning to feel into the neck, the back of the neck, the side of the neck. If you find a spot where there's a little bit of tension, then maybe you pause and send the breath there. Honoring, listening to your body as it speaks to you and tells you exactly what it wants. Coming to stillness and center. On your inhale, lift up through the crown of your head. If you'd like to let your eyes softly flutter open, you can, or keep them closed down and just listen to my cues. Your choice. Take another inhale, lift the arms high. On your exhale, let your arms float back down by your sides. We'll do that 2 more times. Deep inhale, reaching high and tall. Exhale, slowly lower the arms down to the earth. One last time, deep inhale and exhale. This time, inhale, reach the arms nice and tall. On your exhale, take a twist to the right, bringing your right hand back behind you, your left hand to the outside of that right knee. As you press into your hands to lift up tall through the spine, maybe you begin to look over that right shoulder. Your sits bones are nice and grounded here. This is an upper body twist. Breathe into it. Slowly release, come back through center, fingertips reach tall. Exhale, take that twist in the opposite direction. Again, nice and tall through the spine. Maybe you look over that left shoulder. And you may notice that one side might feel completely different than the other. So honor that, honor where you are in each moment as we move through our practice. Slowly release, come back through center, both arms reach tall. Exhale, release your right hand down to your mat beside you. Reach your left fingertips towards the right, coming into a side body stretch. Adjust as you need to find the space that feels good, where you're creating space through that left side of the body. And you can play with your gaze here. You might look down. You might look straight ahead as your fingertips reach a little more, stretching. You might look up towards the sky and notice how that changes the location of the stretch. Slowly release, come back through center, reach tall. Exhale, let that left hand come down, right fingertips reaching. Playing around here, moving in a way that feels good. Play with your gaze. Slowly release, both arms reach tall. This time on the exhale, bring your hands to the fronts of your knees. Slowly pause here, lifting up tall through the spine, and on your next in-breath, reach your heart forward. Your chin and gaze may lift, coming into a seated cow position. On your exhale, holding onto your knees, round through your spine as your chin comes down towards your chest. And we'll pause here for a moment, feeling that nice stretch through the shoulders, through the back of the neck. And now let's find a little flow moving with our breath. Inhale as you arch forward, heart reaching up and out, chin and gaze lifting. Exhale, rounding back through the spine, coming into your seated cat. Move with your own flow of your own breath. Beginning to send that energy up the spine, warming it up. One more time, deep inhale and exhale. Coming back to center in a neutral spine, we're going to come into our tabletop position. So either rolling over your knees or releasing onto one hip. If you want to grab a blanket and place it under your knees to give them a little padding, you can do that now. Having your wrists right below your shoulders, your knees below your hips. Just begin to rock your hips side to side a little bit, feeling into the hip area. You might press them back slightly. And then finding stillness, walk your hands forward about a handprint. And on your inhale, shift your weight forward, and we're going to take some big hip circles. So on your exhale, pressing your hips back to one side, it doesn't matter which, rounding to the other side. And then as you inhale, coming forward once again. We'll do that a few more times in one direction. And then the next time you come forward, just reverse directions. Really feeling into into that sensation through the hips, through the outsides of the thighs, wherever you're feeling it, knowing that that is perfect for your body. And then the next time you shift forward, we're going to adjust your knees back just slightly and come into a knee down plank position. So your palms are pressing into your back, your shoulders are relaxed, your belly button is pulling up towards your spine, your pelvis is lifted. Feel the strength and the power here and take a breath. And then on your exhale, slowly shift your hips back and come into a child's pose. So your fingertips are reaching forward. Feel that nice stretch through the spine, through the shoulders, through the arms. And now we'll find a little flow. Inhale, shift forward into your knee down plank. Pause here for a moment before we find our flow. You have a couple of options here, either staying in your knee down plank, or if you want to slowly lower your pelvis down, coming into an extended spine here, maybe your chin and gaze look straight ahead. If this puts too much tension on your low back, then stay in your knee down plank. So take another inhale, whatever position feels best for you. And then on your exhale, shift your hips back once again, coming into your child's pose. Now we'll move with the breath. Inhale, come forward, knee down plank or the extension. Exhale, shifting the hips back, come into your child. 2 more times with the flow of your breath, nice and slow and easy. This time, as you shift back into your child's pose, separate your knees if that feels good and keep your toes together, shifting your hips way back. And then walk your hands forward, giving yourself a nice long spine here. You can rest your forehead down on your mat. Feel that nice stretch. If you'd like to, bring your palms together and bend through your elbows, bringing your hands to the back of your head. You'll feel that nice stretch through the backs of your arms and your shoulders. If that doesn't feel good, then just release it. Reach your arms out in front of you. Continue to breathe. On your next inhale, slowly make your way back up to your tabletop position. Again, your wrists are below your shoulders, knees below your hips. On the inhale, reach your right arm up to the sky. On your exhale, thread that right arm through the opening of your left arm and your left knee, and let your head just rest right down on your mat. That left hand can stay pressing in front of your face. If you'd like to, you might walk your fingertips forward towards the top of your mat, giving yourself a nice stretch through the shoulder. Or if you'd like, reach those left fingertips up to the sky, or maybe even bring that left hand over to the outside of your right hip, coming into a bind. So they're all options and choices. Again, listen to your body, what feels good in this moment. Not one posture is better than another. It's all about truly listening. When you're ready, bring that left hand back in front of your face. Press into your palm to slowly unwind, reaching that right arm back up towards the sky in a counter stretch. And then release that right hand down. Go ahead and rock your hips a little bit. And then we'll set up to do the same thing on the other side, keeping your right hand planted. Inhale, left arm reaches up. Exhale, thread that arm through, resting the left side of your head down on your mat. Coming into your thread the needle on the other side. Again, keeping your right hand pressing in front of your face, or walk those fingertips forward towards the front of your mat, or reach that right arm up to the sky, or maybe reaching it back behind you towards that left hip, coming into the bind on this side. And just because you did one thing on the other side does not mean you need to do the exact same thing on this side. Continue to connect with the breath. When you're ready, return that right hand in front of the face, pressing into your palm. Slowly unwind, releasing that left arm up to the sky in that counter stretch. And then slowly exhale that hand back down to your mat, coming back into your tabletop position here. Pause if you want to shake your hips, you can. And then finding stillness, extend your right leg back behind you. Keep your toes tucked under. Give yourself a nice stretch through the bottom of the foot. And as the heel is pressing towards the back of your mat, begin to shift your weight forward and back. Feeling that nice stretch through the back of the leg, through your calf muscle, wherever you're feeling it again, always perfect for you. And then very slowly just release that knee back down to your mat. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Left leg extends back behind you. Keep the toes tucked under. Feel that nice stretch through the bottom of the foot. And then if you'd like, begin rocking forward and back. And then slowly, once again, release that left knee down to your mat once again. From here, keeping your hips right above your knees, slowly begin to walk your hands forward, coming into our puppy pose. So your heart is melting down into your mat. Fingertips reaching forward. If this is too intense on your shoulders, then you can separate your arms to a V. Continue to breathe, feeling the exhale soften you, releasing the heart a little closer down to the mat, never forcing, but just allowing. Slowly begin to walk your hands back, coming back into your tabletop position. And then from here, walking your hands forward, again, about a handprint. Begin to shift your weight forward, coming into that knee down plank pose. And keeping strong arms with your elbows pressing in towards your sides, very slowly lower your belly all the way down to your mat. Once you get there, make a little pillow for your forehead. Let your forehead rest on the backs of your hands. Pause here for a moment. And then lift your right leg. Reach your toes towards the back of your mat and then slowly rest that leg down. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Lift that left leg up. Reach your toes back and slowly release it down. And then from here, bring your right hand down by your side. And slowly begin to bend through your right knee. Reach back maybe with your fingertips and grab onto your foot if you'd like to give yourself a nice stretch through the front of the thigh. If your fingertips don't quite reach, no big deal. Just continue to reach your hands back towards your foot and pull your foot towards your hand. So there's never any right or wrong here. And you can keep your head resting down on the back of your left hand, or if you'd like, slowly begin to press yourself up onto that left forearm, giving yourself a little arch in your back. If this feels not right on your low back, then just release the forehead back down. And breathe. One more inhale here. On your exhale, slowly release your head back down. If you have it lifted, release the hold of the foot and bring that right hand back under your forehead and pause here for a moment. When you're ready, bring that left hand back beside you, resting your head on the back of the right hand. Bend through your left knee, reach back with your hand, either grab onto your foot or just energetically reach back and grab onto it. And then stay here with your forehead resting on the back of your hand, or if you'd like, press into your hand and your forearm to give yourself that little arch in your back, that extension through the spine. And again, continue to breathe. Take another breath. On your exhale, release your head down. If you have it lifted, release the foot. And then bring that left hand back under your forehead and pause here for another moment. From here, we'll bend both knees, bringing your heels up towards the sky and pointing your toes. Take some big circles with your feet, like you're painting circles on the sky above you. Doesn't matter which direction you're going. We'll reverse directions in just a moment. Once your feet come back up, go ahead and switch directions. Bringing both feet up to the sky. Maybe let them windshield wiper side to side if that would feel good. And then when you're ready, go ahead and release both feet back down to your mat. Walk your hands back next to your chest and press into the strength of your arms to press yourself all the way back up into your tabletop position. From here, if you want to grab your blocks or whatever you're using in place of blocks, these can come in handy. Extend your right leg back behind you so you're pressing the heel towards the back of the room, and then hug your knee into your chest and step that right foot forward. So we're coming into a knee down lunge pose. So you want your knee directly above that ankle so the joints are stacked here as you begin to settle into the front of that left hip flexor. And adjust yourself, move around, find the position that works for you here. If you want to keep your hands on your blocks, you can. You can always bring your hands right down to your mat. I like to have my chest a little bit lifted up off of that front leg. Feels a little more comfortable to me. But if your hands down on the mat feels comfortable for you, then please, by all means, listen. And breathe. Take another inhale here. On your exhale, slowly begin to shift your hips back, extending through that front leg, pulling the toes back towards you. You can walk your blocks back, give you a little support. And then we're going to take some circles with our ankle. So it doesn't, again, matter which direction. As you flex your foot as your toes come back, and then point your toes away from you as they go forward. And then go ahead and reverse directions. Pausing in stillness and center. Again, pulling the toes back towards you. Adjust your blocks as you need to. Lengthen through the spine on the inhale, and then slowly begin to fold forward over that extended leg. You're imagining the crown of your head reaching towards your toes. Nice long spine. Continue to connect with the breath. Breathing into any sensations you're feeling. One more deep inhale. Exhale, fold a little deeper. On your next inhale, bend through that front knee. Walk your blocks forward, coming back into that knee down lunge pose, and we'll find a little flow here. Take a breath in. On your exhale, shift the hips back, coming into your half split. Inhale, shifting forward, feeling into the hip flexor. And exhale, shifting the hips back. Last time, deep breath in. And exhale. Inhale, come forward back into that low lunge, and you can keep your left hand planted either on the block, or if you want to bring your hand down to your mat on the inside of that right foot. On your inhale, we'll reach that right arm up to the sky, coming into a twist toward the right. You can circle your wrists in one direction if you'd like, reversing directions when you're ready. Reaching up and back a little more on the inhale. Exhale, slowly release that hand down. From here, very slowly, if it feels comfortable, begin to walk your hand up on that front knee. So you're settling in a little bit more into that hip. If this is putting too much pressure, then ease back, ease out of it. And you can stay here with your hand on your knee, or if you'd like, inhale, arms up to the sky. Relax your shoulders, find a steady gaze. Pulling the belly button in to support the low back, activating through your core. Notice what you're feeling. Take another inhale. On your exhale, very slowly release the hands down. Grab your blocks if you don't have them already, and then slowly release that right knee back to the left. You can set your blocks aside for a moment, rock your hips side to side, maybe take some big circles again. Maybe you want to take some smaller barrel rolls. Listen to your intuition and your guidance. What feels good in your body, what makes you happy. Coming back to stillness, grab your blocks to give yourself a little more space once again. Extend that left leg back behind you, pressing the heel away. And then slowly hug your knee into your chest and step that left foot through, coming into your low lunge. Again, adjust as you need to so that that knee is above the ankle. Begin to settle into that right hip. Feeling and noticing. Again, always backing away if you feel too much sensation. Take another deep breath in here. On your exhale, slowly release your hips back, straightening out through that front leg. You can walk your blocks back, giving yourself support. And then we'll take those same ankle circles, so pressing your toes forward as you go forward, pulling the toes back towards you as you round back. Nice and slow, feeling the sensation in the back of your legs. Reversing directions when you're ready. Continue to breathe. And then pausing with the toes pulling back towards you. Adjust your blocks as you need to. Lengthen through the spine on the inhale. On your exhale, slowly begin to fold forward over that extended leg. Again, focusing on the crown of your head reaching towards your toes rather than rounding down towards your knee. Long spine here. Take another breath. On your exhale, soften just a little bit more. On your next inhale, bend through that front knee. You can walk your blocks forward once again, coming back into that low lunge. And then either keeping that right hand on your block or bringing it all the way down to your mat on the inside of that left foot. On your inhale, lift that left arm up to the sky, twisting to the left. Again, circling your wrists if that feels good. Reaching up and back a little more on the inhale. Exhale, slowly release your hands down. So again, you can keep your hands right here on your blocks. If you'd like to begin to walk your hands up to that front knee, you may pull back a little bit so you're not putting too much pressure on that hip flexor. Find a steady gaze in front of you, and then if you'd like, inhale, arms up to the sky. Remembering to relax the shoulders, breathing deeply, engaging the core. Take one more breath here. On your exhale, slowly release your hands down to your blocks, and then release that left knee back to meet the right. You can set your blocks aside. Once again, either find those big circles or the gentle sways of your hip, maybe those small little barrel rolls. Taking any tension out of the hip area. Finding stillness from here. Let's walk the knees forward, cross at your ankles, and go ahead and sit your hips back. So we're going to come back into a comfortable seated position. From here, I'm going to turn so you guys can see me better. Bring the soles of your feet together, pulling your heels back towards your pelvis, coming into a bound angle pose. So if you'd like to, you can take blocks and place it under your knees to support the hips so that this isn't pulling too much. Adjust as you need to. You can always place a blanket underneath your seat as well. And then finding the hand position that feels good for you, either holding onto your ankles or your toes. Lift up tall through the spine. And you might stay right here. This might be causing enough sensation for you. Maybe you begin to walk your hands forward just a little, keeping a long spine, and breathe. Maybe close through your eyes. Allow the opening to happen on its own, spontaneously with the breath. Feeling the exhale soften you into the pose a little more. You might be able to walk your fingertips forward just a little more. Again, we are not forcing anything, but we're just allowing the breath to lead us and guide us. Take a few more breaths here in our bound angle pose. And then very slowly, when you're ready, begin to walk your hands back, lift up nice and tall through your spine. And from here, we're gonna keep your left leg exactly as it is and extend your right leg out to the side, out to an angle. You might tuck the sole of the left foot towards that right inner thigh. Again, lift up tall. That right leg is activated, so your toes are pulling back towards you, the knee pointing straight up towards the sky. Take an inhale, lift the arms up. On your exhale, turn your torso so that it's facing over that right leg, and very slowly on the exhale, let your hands fall down wherever they may. Folding over that extended leg, breathing deeply. Very slowly begin to walk your hands back, turning your torso back through center. Once again, lift your arms up high. On your exhale, let your right hand come down to that right leg, and then begin to reach your left fingertips up and over, giving yourself a beautiful side body stretch. Taking a few more breaths right here in this space. As you inhale, slowly press yourself back up through center, and we'll just switch legs. So extend that left leg out to an angle. Bring that right foot to the inside of that left thigh. Lift up tall on the inhale. On the exhale, turn your torso so that it's over that extended leg and begin to fold. Lengthening on the inhale, softening on the exhale. When you're ready, slowly begin to walk your hands back, turning your torso back through center. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, release that left hand down, that left leg, and reach your right fingertips up and over, feeling the side body stretch here. When you're ready, slowly bring yourself back up through center, reach up tall. Exhale, let your hands come down beside you. You can release that right knee out in front of you, bring the left leg in, and give your legs a little bit of a shake here. When you're ready, bending through your knees, you might scoot your seat forward just a little bit. Bring your hands to the backs of your thighs. Lift up nice and tall through your spine. And then slowly begin to lift your right shin so that it's parallel to your mat, coming into a supported half boat here. And then slowly release that foot down, and we'll lift the left shin so that it's parallel to your mat. And slowly release. And you can continue here, lifting one shin, one foot off the earth, and then the other. Or if you'd like to, begin to lift both shins up off the earth for a pause, and then set the toes back down. Lifting and lowering at your own pace. Continuing in a way that feels good for you. Maybe when you have the shins lifted, you'd like to pause here. Your full boat pose. You can keep your hands on the backs of your thighs or reach your fingertips out in front of you. If you want to play with straightening your legs, you can. Strong and supported. Keep a steady gaze. Continue to breathe. Feel your core activated. Take one more breath and exhale, slowly release it down. From here, bring your hands to the fronts of your knees. Once again, lift up nice and tall through your spine. And you can keep your hands right here on the knees, the backs of the thighs, or extend them out in front of you if you want a little more core work. On your inhale, give yourself that lift. On your exhale, slowly begin to lower your spine down towards the earth. Pause when you've just gone a little ways. Take another inhale. As you exhale, slowly lower yourself a little more and pause. Take another breath in. On your exhale, slowly lower just a little bit more and pause. One last time, deep inhale. Exhale, slowly lower yourself all the way down onto your back. Once you get there, hug your knees into your chest. Take some gentle rocks side to side. And then pausing in center, keeping your hands on your knees. Slowly let your knees fall open away from one another. Round them towards the front and then pull them back towards you. So we're taking some big circles with the hips. Do this a few more times, nice and slow. And then pausing when you come to center, we'll take those circles in the opposite direction. So pressing the knees away from you and then letting them fall open, rounding them back towards you. And then pausing in stillness once again. Bring your hands underneath your hips to give them a little bit of a lift. If you have a block handy and you want to place a block under your sacrum, you can. And begin to extend your legs up towards the sky, coming into a supported shoulder stand or legs up the wall position. And you might close your eyes and feel the effects of this gentle inversion. Bringing that reverse blood flow to all your vital organs. Continue to connect with the breath. If your mind starts to wander, just keep returning to the breath. Slowly, when you're ready, hug your knees back into your chest. You can release your hands and bring the fronts of your hands to your knees as well. And then bringing both arms out to the side. Very slowly let your knees fall over to the right, coming into a nice gentle twist. Gaze can be straight up to the sky, or maybe you begin to look over those left fingertips. Continue to breathe into the sensation. When you're ready, slowly return your gaze back to center if you have your head turned, and then bring your knees back through center, pausing in center for just a moment, taking a breath. And then on your exhale, let both knees fall over to the left this time. Again, keeping your gaze in center, maybe turning your head so that you're looking over those right fingertips this time. Slowly come back through center and take these next few breaths to find any movement that your body is calling for, whether it's happy baby or another inversion. Also taking this opportunity to grab any props that your body may desire for our final resting pose, our Shavasana. If you want to place socks on your feet or a blanket over your body, maybe a bolster under your knees. Take this opportunity now to let yourself find a position that is as comfortable as possible, so you can fully let go, fully release into our final resting pose, our most important pose of our practice, where our body takes all of this beautiful energy we've created here on our mats and uses it for healing of the body, the mind, and the spirit. And again, if your mind begins to wander, if it's already left the room thinking of the things that you need to do when you leave here today, just see if you can bring it back and give yourself this gift of these final few minutes to fully surrender and let go. Shavasana. you are welcome to stay in Shavasana for as long as you'd like. But if you feel ready, begin to bring your awareness back to your breath and back to your body, deepening your breath ever so slightly, adding on those very gentle, subtle movements when it feels right to you, wiggling your fingers and your toes, maybe rocking your head side to side very gently, waking yourself up. Maybe circling your wrists and your ankles. And if it would feel good, maybe reaching arms up and overhead, taking a nice deep full body stretch, like you're just waking up. And being mindful of any props you've chosen for Shavasana. Begin to bend through your knees and slowly allow yourself to rock onto whichever side feels best to you, pausing in your fetus pose. Breathing into this energy of rebirth, fresh starts, and new beginnings. Breathing into all of the beautiful energy you've created on your mat today. Breathing into the energy of happiness and joy and love. Breathing all of that energy into yourself so that you have that energy to extend out to all of your loved ones and all of those you come in contact with. When you feel ready, use the strength of your upper body to slowly press yourself up to a comfortable seated position, keeping your eyes closed down if that feels okay. Let your palms come to your lap, face down, to fully ground yourself back here and pause for just a moment. And then bringing hands to heart center, just as we started our practice. Bowing your forehead to your fingertips, connecting head to heart and sealing in your practice. The light in me honors and deeply bows to the light in each of you, with so much love and gratitude for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste. Namaste, everyone. I hope you have an amazing, amazing day. Thank you so much for being here with me. Sending you all so much love and happiness.